And next up, we've got an Oakland legend, Ted Dang. He's a business leader here, community advocate for 40, 50 years. Who knows? Ted, here you go.
Thank you and good evening. No, my claim to fame is 30 years ago I ran for mayor. I came in second. That's because most of you weren't old enough to vote for me at the time. But let me share with you, my platform at the time was public safety, fiscal accountability, and good government. Now, doesn't that sound familiar to you? I really tried to push for 1,000 police in the city of Oakland in 1994. That's when they had about 850. You know how many they have now? About 850. There's something wrong with that. Fiscal accountability. The budget for the city of Oakland in 1994 was $1 billion. The budget today is $2.2 billion, and they have a $120 million deficit. Is something wrong with that? The other thing I pushed for is good government. Back then, if you did business with the city of Oakland, you could not contribute to a campaign for the council. And there were penalties for that. And you could not go out and bundle contributions from your friends to exceed the limit, which at that time was $500 per person. When I was no longer in politics, I was appointed to the grand jury of Alameda County. And I chaired the Government Affairs Committee. And we looked at those campaign contributions for the previous 4 years, which was the city ordinance that allowed us to find the violators and call them accountable. And we had subpoena power. And we went through hundreds of contributions for campaigns for the last 4 years, and we found 400 violations. People were paying more than they were allowed to. People were paying it because they did business with the city of Oakland, and they were subject to fines. But the city council voted to change the ordinance so that it only goes back 2 years instead of 4 years. I never imagined that they could do that, but that's what happened. With the remaining 200 violations, we submitted to the Fair Political Practices Commission in Sacramento. And they reviewed it, and they said most of them were minor, get a slap on the hand, a letter of violation. A few were fine, but that's about all that came out of it. But the city council recognized they had to do something, and they formed the Public Ethics Commission, which to this day is responsible for making sure those violations do not reoccur. But recent headlines in the papers today will indicate that somebody's not doing their job. And that's why the people we have in office today are not promoting an agenda that's positive, especially for those of us in business. And when we have somebody like Kanitha step up and is willing to help the city like she helped her own business, someone who has met a payroll, who's balanced the budget, and who has her heart in the community, we have to step up and support her. That's why I'm here today. That's why you're here today.